What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this.
So he's the type of witness that we've been trying to get to. Someone that has been actually part of the legacy program, who has actually touched, put their eyes on, seen the physical evidence, seen the craft, seen the bodies.
State troopers say Joshua LeBlanc was killed after his Tesla ran off the road, hitting a guardrail, multiple trees, and then catching on fire. The crash happened on Hill Road near Drummond Switch Cutoff Road in Walker County. Right now, it's unclear what caused the crash, but an investigation is underway.
Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. All right, so what's today's video about? Well, it's about this tweet that Eric Burleson just put out. A new name for the list. A young scientist named Joshua working on the nuclear propulsion technology we need to reach Mars just turned up dead in a Tesla crash after his car drove 2 hours by itself on rural Missouri-style back roads. Body burnt beyond recognition. This is not normal. All right, so who is this Joshua and what is Eric Burleson talking about? Just one thing right off the bat, this didn't just happen. I mean, not in the sense that in the last few days. Joshua's case happened back in July of 2025. Let's take a closer look. Joshua Kyle LeBlanc was a 29-year-old NASA aerospace electrical engineer who died on July 22nd, 2025. In a single-vehicle fiery crash in a rural area near Huntsville, Alabama, and his death has drawn renewed scrutiny due to its unusual circumstances and because it has been grouped with a broader pattern of roughly a dozen deaths or disappearances of U.S. scientists and engineers working in nuclear, aerospace, or space propulsion fields since around 2022. So, was Joshua's death part of a sinister plan, or was it simply an accident? On the morning of July 22nd, 2025, LeBlanc left his Huntsville apartment without his phone, wallet, or his dog. This was described by family as completely out of character. He failed to show up for work at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. His family reported him missing at 4:32 a.m. His family even went on to say they thought he might have been abducted just because he had left without his phone, his wallet, and even his dog, Odin. And according to the Tesla vehicle data, the centering mode footage showed his Tesla parked at Huntsville International Airport for approximately 4 hours that morning. The family said he had no plans to travel west that day and was not communicating with them, which again was unusual. And again, on that same day of July 22nd, 2025, the crash happened. At around 2:45 p.m., the Tesla left the roadway on rural back roads, struck a guardrail and multiple trees, and burst into flames. The vehicle and LeBlanc's body inside were burned beyond recognition. The crash site was roughly 2 hours' drive from his home.
State troopers say Joshua LeBlanc was killed after his Tesla ran off the road, hitting a guardrail, multiple trees, and then catching on fire. The crash happened on Hill Road near Drummond Switch Cutoff Road in Walker County. Right now, it's unclear what caused the crash, but an investigation is underway.
So what was going on? What was he doing out there? What was this Tesla doing? Joshua was later identified 3 days later on July 25th, 2025. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency investigators used Tesla data to locate the vehicle. LeBlanc's remains were identified by the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences, and the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency investigated it as a traffic accident. Public reports have not indicated foul play, and it remains officially classified as just a crash. No public autopsy details or toxicology results have been released. So why would somebody want to go after Joshua LeBlanc, right? What could be a reason? Why would he be so enticing if this was part of a sinister plan? Well, LeBlanc had worked at NASA for about 5.5 years, initially in New Orleans, then at Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville. He served as team lead for the Space Nuclear Propulsion Instrumentation and Control Maturation Project, as well as the Demonstration Rocket for Agile Cislunar Operations, or the DRACO program. NASA's Nuclear Thermal Propulsion Engine initiative aimed at enabling faster, more efficient missions to Mars and beyond. And his LinkedIn and NASA-related profiles highlighted his focus on technologies for crewed deep space travel. Okay, so he's doing some things, right? But just the flip side of the coin, what happened to everyone else that he worked with? How come they're still okay? What would make Joshua so special that he would be the one that needed to be silenced? I don't know, but when you add it up with all the other missing scientists and engineers, and some of them are not with us anymore, like Joshua, right? Does that mean there's more to it, right? Or are we just noticing it, right? People are looking for it because, again, this information's been out there, but nobody's talked about it or brought the information together, right? I don't know, right? But I think it's definitely worth looking into. And another thing about Eric Burleson is, remember when he brought up Matthew Sullivan?
Last year, we sent a letter to the FBI about a gentleman named Matthew Sullivan, who actually we had reached out to. He was scheduled to come in for an interview. Within 2 weeks, he had suspiciously committed suicide. That report was referred to the Office of Inspector General. They deemed it credible and urgent. They then referred it to the FBI. So this is not the first that we've heard of this. That was the first that we became aware of.
I just made a video about this, so I'll put a link down below if you want all the information. But essentially, he just came out with some new information about Matthew Sullivan that I think is absolutely mind-blowing. Check this out.
And when you talk to David Grush, who worked with Matthew Sullivan, and Jacob Barber, who is also a whistleblower, they both adamantly believe that there was foul play when it came to their friend Matthew Sullivan.
What information did Sullivan have to offer you or a congressional investigation? Like, what was he supposedly privy to? UAP information?
Right.
What did he have that was sensitive?
So he's the type of witness that we've been trying to get to. Someone that has been actually part of the legacy program, who has actually touched, put their eyes on, seen the physical evidence, seen the craft, seen the bodies. That was James Sullivan.
So what I'm hearing is that we just lost the best UFO witness in the history of America, right? In the history of mankind, we just lost the greatest UFO witness we could have ever had, right? The smoking gun, the GOAT, the one, worked in the UFO legacy program, saw craft, saw alien bodies with his own eyes. And then he mysteriously dies 2 weeks before he's supposed to go in to talk with Congress. Now, initially, right, you think, wow, how did he die? What happened? You know, it kind of came out that he kind of overdosed on some pills and alcohol together, but, you know, just combination doesn't necessarily mean on purpose. They're saying accidental. Should be looked into. I agree. But what no one's talking about is this point. If he was so important to Burleson, Grush, anyone else who knew of him as being the UFO witness, why wasn't he offered around-the-clock protection? 24/7 protection, right? What are we doing? Witness protection program? Something. Wouldn't you pull money out of your own pocket to pay for it if you thought he was the guy that was going to bring disclosure and change humanity forever? I mean, this just doesn't make any sense, right? And this doesn't make any whistleblowers want to come out to hear this, right? You know, what are we expecting? If it is true that he died under mysterious circumstances, no UFO whistleblowers are going to come forward. Ever. We just shot disclosure in the foot by bringing this out. You know, doesn't help at all. But again, why wouldn't you offer him protection if he is who he says he is, right? If he is the UFO legacy guy who saw the craft, who saw the bodies, why are we not offering him protection? It makes no sense. Hey, come in and tell us the greatest thing humanity's ever heard and will change, you know, the world forever. Good luck for the next 2 weeks on your own. What? It doesn't make any sense. Why is nobody talking about that? If that's true and you have verification, right? Or it's just what was said. So what Eric Burleson just said is he should have caveated and said, well, he's claiming to have been in the UFO legacy program, and he's claiming to have seen craft and bodies, because that's much different. But Eric Burleson is selling it as it's a fact, right? That's a big difference, right? It almost seems like a lot of this is just political ploy to get attention, get outrage, get people fired up, right? But we don't have any details, right? It's all left ambiguous, as I say over and over again. So my thing is, why aren't we putting these people in under protection, right? If this is true, why don't they stay together like some Big Brother house, right? Like Matthew Sullivan should have gone and stayed with David Grush and invited, hey, Matthew Brown, Jake Barber, Dylan Borland, who are all the whistleblowers, David Fravor, let's all stay together under one house. Then that's easier to protect. We can make sure that guy gets to testify before Congress, right? I'm just saying, it's kind of stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. No wonder people don't want to come forward. You just use them for news clips. I'm just saying, a lot of questions here. And at the end of the day, people are losing their lives. That's real. That's not made up, right? The question is why? That is up for debate. So look, my heart goes out to all the families who have lost a loved one, regardless of how it happened. You still have to deal with the grief. So, my heart goes out to all the families. But where are we at with this, right? Let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next one, veterans. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.